Episode 2 was fucking bonkers. Episode 2 felt like one of those really intense, edge of your seat episodes of Dexter back in Dexter's heyday. Like, I'm talking like season 3, 4, where he's always about to get caught and he has to kill someone without the people like that are right around the corner knowing about it, or like hiding a body, or dude, that is the vibe I got from this episode. It was so damn good, and there were so many great moments, like just character moments, like stuff that happened between people. I absolutely hate Johnny Vitti now. Like, not that I didn't already kind of dislike him. Like, you're kind of made to dislike him, but even more so, right? Like, he calls him Penguin in this. It's an insult because we haven't heard it at all yet, and it's like this thing that people call him behind his back or call him disparagingly, right? And Johnny Vitti calls him that, like yells it down the hall with other people around. I love the way they're setting up like the hatred, the kind of vitriol between characters like this. Like, Vitti has no respect whatsoever for this dude. And then, Oz feels like, he doesn't get the respect he deserves from anyone. And this chump, right, has more power than him, and he really shouldn't. Like, he's not the head of the family, but he's kind of acting like it at times. It's quite, I don't know. It's so much fun the way that they're setting things up. Oz obviously wants to set him up. We set that up in this episode. Like, the plan now is to implicate one of the Falcones as the person who killed Alberto, just as a power play to take over the family. And it's so smart. It's so smart. It's like the way he's playing not only the Falcones, but the Maronis, and then trying to suck up to Sophia. And dude, it's like, it's such a mob show. It's such a crime drama that it doesn't even feel at all like you're watching something DC. But at the same time, there's so many things like in the background and little mentions and character moments and things that remind you that you're in Gotham City. Dude, this is like on the verge of being one of the best things I've watched this year if it continues on the way it is. Like I said, in episode 1, like if it continues on the path that it's on, it's going to be fantastic. Well, episode 2 just like blew that out of the water. I mean, episode 1 was great, but episode 2 was like edge of your seat, tension at all times. I loved, right there towards the end where you think he's going to set up Johnny Vitti. Well, they have this whole laid plan, right? Him and Vic have this whole laid out plan of what they're going to do. They're going to plant these jewels in this car, and they're going to place the blame on Vitti. But then all that goes to shit when someone who is privy to the fact that Oz is behind everything is kidnapped by the Falcones, and he's about to be tortured. And then Oz has to sneak around in the house, through the mansion, down to the basement, kill this guy, which he wasn't going to kill him, right? It was a last minute decision to even do all of this. But then he goes down there and he's going to, he just needs to get the guy to say that it's Johnny Vitti. It's not, don't mention my name, say Johnny Vitti. But the guy's so drugged up and he knows the way that Sophia tortures people that this guy's going to spill. This guy's going to spill his guts. So Oz has to take him out. Brutal. And I feel like it's only going to get worse and worse each episode. I feel like we're kind of on Oz's side as an audience member right now. Very much like this has very, very Tony Soprano feels, right? Where you're like rooting for this guy, but eventually he does some shit so foul that you're like, okay, I'm not on this guy's side anymore. And I don't think we're there yet. But I think this is like the slow build to some of those moments where towards the end of this series, we're going to be like, dude, this is not a guy you want to root for, you know? Just brutal. Like you get his pain, you get where he's coming from, you get his motivations. You know, you can feel for the character, and you can kind of root for the character at this point, because everyone around him you feel like is even more of a piece of shit, and they don't respect him, and so you kind of feel for him. You kind of feel that, and it. I'm telling you, by the end of this series, you're not going to like Oz. You're going to. I mean, you're not going to want him to die, okay? Because he's such an interesting character, but you will no longer be rooting for him, right? And that's how it needs to be, right? But if you want to put him in future Batman films, if you want his character to continue in this world, this Matt Reeves Batman world, you can't want to kill him off. You know what I mean? You want it to build to a point where, like, you kind of feel for him, you get the character motivations, but then it's a bridge too far, and then you're still rooting for Batman to take him down, right? You can't be having the audience root for the Penguin to beat the Batman at some point. But who knows, man? It could be a crazy twist. Matt Reeves is an interesting filmmaker, and who knows where it's going to go. Like, I'm still holding out hope that we're going to get the Court of Owls as the villain in the Batman 2. There's still been no real clues to what that's going to be. People have said different things, but definitely the Court of Owls is a big possibility with the way they've set things up in the first film, with stuff that kind of background stuff that happened. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm getting off on a tangent about the Batman 2. But I love that, he's been trying to butter up Sophia this whole time. She sees right through his ass, right? Until the end, until she's left with, like, her family doesn't respect her at all. She tried to go about this on her own and get the information about who killed her brother, because she's like, no one even cares about who killed my brother. They're all concerned with money and drugs and what's going to happen with the business, but no one wants to avenge her brother. So she takes it upon herself to go find someone that can give her the answers. But then Oz comes in, screws that plan up, and unbeknownst to her, he was behind it all along. And then she ends up coming around to him in the end. Like, I love that it got so messed up, but it still happened to work out. Like, he's doing what he tells Vic in the end. Like, in the end, he's like, Vic, you can't freak out like that. You gotta think on your feet. You gotta be dynamic, right? You can't freeze and panic and cut and run. And I love that scene where he puts him down with the bodies in the hole, and he's like talking shit to him. But there's no real fear at this point that he's going to kill Vic, because he could have done that already. But who knows? Who knows? I think Vic is his only friend right now, and I don't think it's not even a friend. It's like someone that looks up to him, and he really needs that. He needs that, like, someone to think that he's something, and that's what he gets from Vic, right? And I think that. I mean, that would be the ultimate way to make you hate the character, right? If he does end up killing Vic for some selfish reason in the end, that would make you no longer rooting for Oz Cobb, right? Like, at the end of the series, you'd be like, okay, fuck this guy. At first, I wasn't sure I was going to like the character of Vic, like having this guy, this kind of, straight man, this good guy, this decent person being corrupted by Oz. Like, it seems like a story that's like, I don't know. But I don't know, man. I'm starting to like this kid. I'm starting to like his character, and you don't know if he's really, like, just trying to keep Oz from killing him in the end, or turning on him, or if he's really, like, is he just really afraid of him, and that's why he's so devoted to him, or does he really see something in Oz that he can aspire to? It's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic, and I like the character stuff between the two. Anyway, those are my thoughts on episode 2. I thought it was fucking bananas. I thought it was amazing. Even better than episode 1. Like, I mean, it's hard to replace an episode that introduced something and has something so crazy like him killing off Alberto Falcone right in the beginning. But this episode did it all for me, man. I absolutely loved it, and I like that. I like that they at the end there they swayed you one way and then it went the other way. So like all along you thought it was going to be he was going to blame everything on Vidi, and then that kind of goes out the window. But then he kills the guy in the basement, and then he wants to then turn the blame from that onto Vidi, right? But then it's not Vidi that he frames; it's Sophia's kind of bodyguard guy, which is actually really brilliant because that guy is kind of standing between him and Sophia in a sense. And now that's opened up. Like, Sophia doesn't have a confidant. She needs one. Oz is there. He's already offered his hand. Here we go. So super excited for episode 3. I hated waiting 10 days to get this episode, and I'm so glad that we're going to get another one in just 1 week. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys thought. Let me know in the comments below, or you can reach out on social media at Real Brett Scott, anywhere and everywhere. And yeah, let's interact. And if you're enjoying this sort of thing where I talk entertainment and pop culture, then please subscribe to the channel. And if you do decide to stick around and subscribe, then I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks.